How's it going, Jack Tackers, and welcome back to another video for you guys. Today, I'm going to be giving my thoughts on the news that Tobey Maguire is willing to return to the MCU if asked to be Spider-Man again. And we have an article here, and his quote is that, "If these guys called me and said, 'Would you show up to do this movie or read a scene or do a Spider-Man thing?' I would be a yes." That's what Tobey Maguire has said when he was asked if he would be Spider-Man in the MCU or make an appearance yet again, obviously like he did in the film No Way Home. And I think this is very interesting because there's been already a ton of speculation on if he's going to be in Avengers Secret Wars or not, and a lot of people also want to see him and Wolverine. There's been a lot of fan-made images of Wolverine and Spider-Man together, Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man specifically, just because they kind of came out around the same time, the early X-Men movies and the Spider-Man films from the early 2000s. They were kind of around the same time period, so I got a little nostalgia for that, of course, which is super cool. But I think this is very revealing. I mean, I think we might be seeing Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man again in probably Secret Wars. I mean, a lot of people are suspecting that is going to end up being the movie where Tobey Maguire might make another appearance. And I think that makes a lot of sense because it's going to be a big event. It's kind of being built up as like the next Endgame sort of thing. And whether or not you buy into the hype, we'll see. I mean, that's still years and years away from coming out, Secret Wars, that is. So it all just depends on if you are buying into the hype, I guess. But I do think this makes me more excited for the movie for sure. Not that this actually confirmed that he is in the movie. I mean, I'm just inferring, by the way. But I'm still very intrigued on whether or not he'll pop up in another movie. But I still think this is pretty revealing, to be honest. I mean, what do you guys think? Because I'm pretty surprised that Tobey Maguire would say this. I mean, I'm not like super surprised, but relatively speaking, because he was pretty open with this. I mean, he would be a yes, he says, if he was asked to return to Spider-Man. And I do think that is pretty awesome, though. And I am very excited and glad that he said this, of course, because I love his version of the character. And, you know, it's just super awesome. I loved him in No Way Home. And I would love to see him again because we didn't get to see nearly enough of him, in my opinion. But it was still great that we did get to see him in the film. And I'm sure a lot of people are super stoked about this, to be honest. I mean, it makes perfect sense why people will be excited for this because it just makes people curious as to whether or not he's going to show up and what movie. I mean, what movie do you guys think he'll show up as again? Because it's like guaranteed at this point, at least in my opinion. Maybe some people just think he's saying this just to say it. I don't believe that. I mean, I think it's revealing. I think he'll probably be in another MCU film. Maybe not anytime soon, but again, something like Secret Wars could make a lot of sense. But I am curious to see if you think he could pop up in another movie, maybe in another Tom Holland Spider-Man film, Spider-Man 4, if they end up doing that or something, which I'm sure they probably will end up doing. Although maybe they want to focus more on Tom Holland and maybe not throw Tobey Maguire in there. But it all depends. He could be in many movies if they really wanted to squeeze him in there. And I think it's just very intriguing. So now we can kind of keep an eye on the lookout whether or not he'll show up and what movie he will show up in, because I think at this point it's safe to say he will show up again, and that's good news. It's good news. But yeah, let me hear your guys' thoughts on this down in the comments below, because I am definitely curious to see if you guys are excited for this. I mean, I'm pretty sure most people are. And yeah, if you guys liked this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you are new, and I'll see you guys in the next one.